gaming news. What have you got for us this week?
News. Yeah, our first piece of gaming news this week is Fortnite and Google. The maker of the game Fortnite is taking Google to court over charging a 30% commission on in-app purchases on the Google Play Store. The firm is accusing Google of acting like a monopoly. Google, however, argued that there were plenty of ways to download the apps on Android phones without using Google Play. The company has said that it competes with Apple and rejects the idea that Google Play is monopolistic. That's a word. The trial opens up another antitrust front against Google. The company is already defending itself in court in Washington, where the US Justice Department has accused it of holding a legal monopoly over search engines. It comes after Epic Games took Apple to court in 2021 for a very similar case. I know it sounds like repeating ourselves because we definitely talked about that, I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we talked about the Epic Apple thing.
Yeah. So now they're trying it with Google
instead.
instead.
Wasn't this the court case that the news about the Epic Store not making money came from?
I don't know. Maybe.
So it's broke this week that the Epic Game Store on the PC still isn't bringing in any cash, and basically all of Epic's income is coming from either things like Fortnite or the Unreal kind of graphics engine.
Mm-hmm.
And the game store is still like, and they're okay with that. I wonder if this is kind of part of them saying, hey, you don't need to charge this much money.
Well, as in, like, you don't need to charge it because we've decided that it's okay to not make any money from the Epic Game Store, or you don't need to charge us much money because we want more money.
Maybe it's about brand. Maybe it's about brand awareness. Maybe it's about.
Okay.
So maybe they're just saying you don't need to charge this much.
Okay.
Who
Interesting.
Knows?
I mean,
who knows? I mean,
yeah.
we are talking about so much more bigger companies with more money than I can imagine in order for it to be okay to have something that just doesn't make money, or at least not yet.
I mean,
you need that money.
My concern with that is that this is like twice now that they've tried to take companies to court over this. So I mean, it feels like it's repetitive. Let's put it that way. I can't remember what happened in the outcome of that other court case in Apple. I think they lost, didn't they?
Epic, Apple.
He's Googling. Let's distract you. What happened in the Apple?
Okay, so quick Wikipedia entry.
Yeah.
Epic Games v Apple is a lawsuit brought by Epic Games versus Apple. Epic Games specifically had challenged Apple's restrictions on apps from having other.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same as the Google one.
And defend itself. Apple filed a countersuit asserting Epic purposely breached its terms of contract with Apple to goad it into action and defended itself from Epic's suit. So Apple won.
Okay, so it's a funny thing, isn't it? Like, because that's like they took it off because I remember it not being on Apple Store for a while. You couldn't get. Yeah, it's interesting that they've taken them to court, taken Google to court, knowing that they lost the last one. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I guess we'll see. Anyway, let's move on. Our second piece of gaming news this week is GTA 6. Rockstar Games has confirmed that the trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6 will be revealed in December. It has been 10 years since Rockstar released GTA 5. The fifth installment of the game is the second best-selling game of all time behind Minecraft. Rockstar Games officially confirmed it was working on the game in February 2022. In a statement on Wednesday, President Sam Houser said its first trailer would be unveiled in December to celebrate the company's 25th anniversary. The first GTA game was released in 1997 to mixed reviews. Fast forward 25 years, and the franchise has been critically acclaimed, has shipped over more than 405 million units, and is frequently ranked amongst the greatest best-selling video games. Before Wednesday, the biggest news came unexpectedly last September when an unprecedented leak surfaced online that contained over 90 videos and screenshots from an early development of GTA 6. Rockstar has acknowledged the legitimacy of these leaks and also complained about it. So all that stuff that was released in September that we talked about actually was all legitimate. So it was all part of GTA 6, but obviously Rockstar were not happy. I don't know if either of us play Grand Theft Auto. Have you ever played GTA?
I'm going to say that. I'm going to date myself again now.
You are.
Has it really been 25 years since the first one?
Oh, he's an old man.
I mean, I remember GTA London more.
Okay.
Which was like this spin-off, I think, of GTA 2.
Yep.
And it is basically what it sounds like, It was a version of GTA, of what GTA looked like at the time.
Yeah.
Set against very much a kind of Cockney type accented.
Terrible Cockney accent.
Incredibly, very, very much kind of an American imagining of London, kind of
nice
with London-style-esque bridges and...
I'm now really curious to know when that one came out. Let's see how old Andy is.
Yeah.
You ready?
Are you ready? Go on.
1999.
Okay, that's not too bad.
That was my first year of secondary school, 1999.
I now feel sick.
I used to watch my classmates play GTA. Like they used to back in the days, like the first time PlayStation ever did like a portable handheld. What was it? Like, is it PSP or?
Yeah.
One of my classmates used to play it when we were in tutor time, and we all just sit and watch him play it.
Brilliant.
Really good use of school time, everyone.
Well, we can't get away with that now.
Yeah. You wouldn't be able to get away with that now. I was in sixth form, I will point out. It wasn't like when I was in like younger school. We were all like in sixth form, free reign in sixth form. But yeah, that's why like I've never played GTA, partly because the sort of senseless murdering of it all, and I'm not. Yeah, it always fascinates me, but I feel like I've never played it.
I mean, sorry, I've been distracted by screenshots and stuff of the original GTA, and I really want to play it again. It's not exactly. I mean, especially when you compare it to stuff today. It's very kind of micro machines on. Yeah, kind of turned up to max with a little bit of blood kind of on the ground. Good times. Never really got into the later games. Maybe something about language and having children around and stuff like that probably played a part in it. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I've played a bit of GTA 5. I get it. It's fine.
Nice.
Wow. It's fun. And there's definitely a storyline there. Personally, I prefer Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay. Well, when GTA 6 comes out, Andy, we'll get you to like review it. So our pilot's moving on.
If anyone would like to gift us a copy of GTA 6 when it comes out, that would be appreciated to help.
I imagine it's very expensive. Anyway, moving on. Our final piece of gaming news this week is The Legend of Zelda live action. Nintendo and Sony Pictures are making a live action film version of the beloved video game series The Legends of Zelda. There is no word yet on who the cast will be or the plot of the film. In a post on the Nintendo Japanese account on X, renowned video game designer formerly known as Twitter. Renowned video game designer Shigeru Miyamoto revealed that he had been working on the film for some time. I'm not very good with Japanese names, and they come up a lot when we talk about Nintendo. The film will be directed by Maze Runner's Wes Ball. The forthcoming film comes during a renaissance for gaming films, which were once thought to be guaranteed flops. Nintendo's Super Mario Bros. Movie, which was released earlier this year, became one of the highest grossing animated films of all time, earning more than $1 billion at the box office. This will be the first attempt to make a Zelda film, though the franchise previously had an animated TV series.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Are you excited about this, Sunday?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
It's all the go.
Yeah. Sounds good. It's going to make a fortune.
Nice.
If half the brains behind the Mario movie are behind this as well, they'll know their target audience. They'll go for it, and they'll mine the Zelda lore where needed and leave some of it behind.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's good plot lines and things, aren't there? So it's not, Yeah,
I mean, a lot of it is kind of the classic stuff of movies anyway, kind of battles against monsters and swords and things. Yeah. It's ready to be made into a movie. And I saw something the other day about apparently video game movies are going to take over the MCU at this rate.
I saw that.
Or could be the next MCU, I should say.
Could be the next MCU.
Which, I'll look forward to it in 8 years' time when everyone's complaining about
that. Because we still like to stick with the MCU.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is the end. Sorry?
I was being silly.
Okay. And that's the end of gaming news.
Right, so as we said earlier, it's dark, it's a bit...
It gets dark like 4:30.
I mean, I got thrown just then because I looked out the window when I said dark, and it's probably the nicest weather we've had for weeks outside now.
I know, it's really lovely out now.
But my point is, sometimes it's good. I mean, it's good to talk about games that have can speak into our well-being, can speak into our mental health, that just have good narrative structures, whatever. But sometimes, let's just talk about games that just bring us joy, that just make us smile, that make us happy. So I asked this question.
What games are that for you? Oh, I was going to say, what was it for you, Andy? But you asked the question to that.
Well, okay. For me, I mean, some levels in Sonic.
Nice.
Classic Sonic the Hedgehog.
Retro.
Some levels in Sonic the Hedgehog just fill me with this kind of rage, which I should,
sure.
Not think too much about. Switch Sports, every time we put it on, it's fun, it's happy times.
Let's go bowling.
Yes, bowling. I mean, just don't let go of the controller. Lego games.
Yep.
Dare anyone to play Lego? What?
Comforting,
yes. I mean, we've also got games like, Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley, but we always mention
them. Because that's like, yeah. Can I tell you the game that's bringing me most joy at the moment?
Do it.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. They remastered it for the PlayStation 4, I guess 5. I don't know if I've seen it on 5, but I've got a PlayStation 4, I don't play it on. And I love it. It's just so, it's like, it was a PlayStation 2 game that I played when I was young, and now we play it on PlayStation 4. It's a really fun game, and it's basically just skating around, trying to get points, and falling over a lot, which is really fun. I find it really fun. Falling over without getting hurt is fun.
Well, exactly, if you can do something that means if you fall over, you don't get hurt, great. Fantastic. Yep. I asked the same question to our kind of gaming community within YMCA Exeter, and the big response I got was Hogwarts Legacy, which for a moment, I was like, really? But then I was like, actually, hold on a second. That first time that I rode the broom around Hogwarts, I'm like, yeah.
Did you smile?
I did smile. I mean, hard not to. I mean, I'm not a hardcore Harry Potter fan in any stretch of the imagination. Now, don't get me wrong, I've read the books once, seen the movies probably a few times, but exploring Hogwarts, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, it's sort of magical, isn't it? Anything like that that's like slightly magical, and it's like, oh, this is like quite fun. I remember I was thinking about the Lord of the Rings game the other day, the PlayStation 2 Lord of the Rings game, and we used to love playing that. But that's a similar thing. It's like sort of a bit mystical and a bit magical, and it just brings you a lot of like, oh, this is quite fun because it's like not doesn't feel real, if that makes sense. Like it's an escape. So
And you get to explore that world that you kind of know, and you kind of know
yeah.
quite well.
Mm.
And it's that sort of fairy tale-esque feel of
Yeah.
exploring somewhere new, which is always good and always nice. And yeah, play these
Nice.
games.
Fun games that you play with your daughter, or any like other fun games that you like enjoy? You got Fall Guys on the list, which is a great game. If you haven't played Fall Guys,
I mean,
anyway.
Fall Guys is a game that she every now and then she's like, "Daddy, play that."
No, Fall Guys is a fun one just because it's silly. I love a silly game. It reminds me of Takeshi's Castle, if anybody knows what that is.
And if they don't know what it is, how would you
Google
describe
it. Chaos. Yeah, they were trying to bring it back recently. It is chaotic, but it's so much fun. Yeah. Any kind of games, like we love any kind of games that like you can play together, I think bring me joy. We play a lot of games together with my family, and because we've got some like we've got family members that really enjoy building games. So any like racing games, so we play like Mario Kart, any of those kind of things.
Ooh.
But also like my brother-in-law is really into Hot Wheels, like the Hot
Okay.
Wheels game. And he loves it because he's just like, this is so much fun. He was like beating, and it is chaos, but they're nice because they're like fun games to play. And I think I love gaming together. That's my kind of gaming that I do. So anything that I can play. Overcooked, another great like game to play together. Yeah, and Overcooked is a really good one if you've got people that you want to work together as well, because that's like a game where you have to work together.
Yeah, Overcooked, we just get this kind of frustrated, mad, crazy energy where it's like once we get to certain levels, it's like, no, go that way, go that way, go that way, no, you're falling into the ice.
Or you've fallen down between the lorries, which happens quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
any of
again,
those.
we're going back to games where you can get injured and not get hurt.
Yes. Yeah.
Like falling between moving lorries because you got two kitchens on two lorries.
Two lorries, yeah, you have to pass between them.
Lovely listener / watcher, if you ever find yourself cooking across two lorries, just don't do that.
Yeah, don't do it. And now it's time for Andy's Game of the Week. Andy, what is your game this week?
Celeste. Now, I think we've mentioned this before, but maybe in context of kind of games that talk about mental health. But Celeste, on one hand, it looks like a classic 2D platformer, from like decades past, like proper kind of old school, very pixel art style, very much. I mean, my daughter's reaction to it was the graphics look rubbish.
Positive.
I mean, they're not. It's very pixel art. There's some scenes that are very gorgeous looking, and the 2D kind of graphics look lovely. But when you compare it to like 3D graphics and things like that,
Yeah.
you're used to if you've only just started really gaming in the last 5 years, it probably looks a bit rubbish. But I would say it looks gorgeous. So that's on one hand. On the other hand,
Yep.
it's meant to be a it is a flipping difficult platformer.
Yeah.
Very much based on, you don't have to be pixel perfect, but it's quite challenging in what it asks you to do.
Yeah.
Thankfully, there is an assist mode, but I think perseverance and persevering with the game is meant to be one of the themes of climbing that mountain.
Mm.
So the story itself, you are controlling a character called Madeline. As you play the game, you find out that she has anxiety, depression, and throughout the game, you kind of encounter different characters, as well as what turns out to be like another version of you.
Oh, interesting.
I don't think it's too many spoilers if I was to say it's like all your self-doubt in one person.
Okay.
And so there's lots about what that means, and do you have to run away from that person? Do you have to yeah, and what all this means to have your own kind of self-doubt.
Yep.
And that is the game. The game itself is like a chance to kind of reflect on that, and there's lots of themes about kind of self-forgiveness and identity and who you are. It's a very introspective game, and yeah, it's very much this push to kind of accept yourself as part of the theme of the game. Not quite finished yet, unfortunately. The kind of duties of kind of going along and taking kids to guides and things like that kind of got in the way yesterday. Almost there. Flip me the
What
assist
you mean?
mode.
Your parent responsibilities got in the way of you gaming, though.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Because I would have finished it probably 2 nights ago if my kid hadn't got invested in not just in the game, but it was in this kind of section of the game where it is about confronting kind of your character's mental health and very much openly discussing it. And there's the conversation about, should you be talking about these feelings to someone? And I was like, crikey, this is just very much a conversation about mental health, very supportive conversation about mental health, and done in such a way that actually is part of the story. So definitely something I would recommend, and available on, if I look at my notes, Switch, PlayStation 4, Windows, Xbox One, Linux, apparently, Mac OS,
all of the
Steam
computer
Store,
systems.
Epic. Yeah, it's also on Game Pass as well.
Amazing. Well, that is all we've got time for this week. We hope to see you next week. Please do follow us on all our social medias at YMCA Exeter and at YMCA Exeter Games. I'm thinking we'll probably still be online next week because I can't imagine that the hole in the roof is going to be fixed. I was going to say the roof in the hole. The hole in the roof is going to be fixed, so probably we'll still be here. But that's okay. We can cope with that. But yes, have a good week, everyone, and we will see you soon.
See ya.